final week, making sure he had a week's worth of games heading into opening day.
Yeah, that's the key question to ask, and I was trying to do it when Judge was shagging those fly balls on the backfield, but he declined to speak with reporters. But that is the main question at this point. How many at-bats do you feel you need before you start getting going with the regular season? Now, Aaron Boone said hitting indoors, like you mentioned, is virtually there's really no difference between hitting indoors and outdoors with the high velocity machine that teams work on. So I was talking with Jose Trevino about it, and again, I think it's just a preference that each individual has. He said roughly 30 at-bats for him. So you know, that's a player who was slowed down by an injury earlier in camp, but every player has that specific at-bat number that they need before they feel like they're ready to go. That's the key question to ask with Aaron Judge at this point.
Well, and I think, guys, that if we had been told, hey, Judge expected to hit on the backfield and then he doesn't, and he wasn't doing anything, your antenna would really go up, right? If we didn't see him also shagging balls, if we didn't know that he was taking swings inside. But because he is, even if we're not getting to see him swinging, that obviously still is progress towards getting ready for spring training. He's still getting work in offensively in addition to what we did see defensively.
100%, Ryan. And when we just take a look at what Judge has done so far this spring, he does have 14 at-bats. So to the point that Justin just made about Trevino, there will be more at-bats in the pipeline for Aaron Judge. But you also don't want to rush at this point. This is what spring training is for, to make sure that you are ready to go, that you're in a position that your team can know you're 100% to start the season. So I think the Yankees are being smart and cautious with their most valuable player. I know Soto is on the team right now, but Aaron Judge is their most valuable player.
We'll step aside one more time here on Yes. Getting ready for a slightly delayed first pitch. Carlos Rodon will throw it at approximately 125 here on Yes.
And let's do it here in the Bronx. See ya! A two-run home run for Volpe. Swing and a miss. A complete game shutout. He's done it again. A green home run night.
Aaron Judge, you could hit.
Here's what you need.
This spring is the perfect time to get away.
Do it like this.
With a great deal on your favorite Hyundai model.
Do it like this.
All backed by America's best warranty, plus 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Add more joy to your journey at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get in and get away now before these deals are gone. Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $229 a month, or get 0% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash. Hurry, offers end soon.
With FanDuel, every night is a watch party. New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if you win. Bet all the stars with all your friends and tell them that they can get paid instantly. Only on FanDuel. New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Now, get 1.9% APR for 72 months on Ford F-150, only at your local Ford store.
Life is hard, but you guys have to work harder. Okay? No, I do not do it. My name is O'Neal Trinidad, and I want to live.
Greetings happen.
Hi, cutie.
The best night of the week happens.
We are having taco night.
Dance parties happen.
Hey.
Yeah, that's not good happens.
Hey, put that down.
Big moments happen.
I got him to UC Davis.
Home happens. Be there with Ring.
Welcome back to Yankees Spring Training, presented by Ford. Proud to be the official SUV of the New York Yankees. Get ready for the start of action at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Slightly delayed with a 1:25 first pitch. And he reduce offensively and be great, but it feels like, you know, you look at the team and say, who's an ascending player who could really make an impact? He's one.
And you see the numbers right there for the spring. They're terrific numbers. He has more hits than any Yankee during spring training. And I agree with you, Ryan. Of course, Soto is going to be a massive difference. A healthy Rizzo, big difference. A healthy Judge for a year, another huge difference. But I was talking with Jim Duquette today, the former general manager of the Mets, and one of the topics we discussed was, how about the bottom three in the Yankee lineup? It's probably going to be Verdugo, then either Trevino or Wells, and then Volpe. That's actually a very feisty and potentially very productive bottom three. The Yankees didn't have that last year. The Yankees had a stagnant offense. They were bottom 5 in the major leagues in a lot of offensive categories. I think Anthony has made some noticeable changes heading into this season. I've talked to him about some of his swing adjustments. We'll get into that during the game. He also looks stronger and thicker. And when I mentioned that to him, he said, thank you, first of all. But then he said, I'm the same weight. But he definitely looks like he's gotten stronger.
Shaq?
Yeah, Saturday, those hits that he was slugging the other way into right center field, they looked just different. Also had 2 more hits, one up the middle, but the crispness in his swing and the velocity off the bat really stood out. And a scout told me after the game, there are not a lot of players who could have handled what Anthony Volpe went through as a rookie shortstop for the New York Yankees last year. I thought that stood out.
Yeah, absolutely. The makeup is a 10 out of 10. The dedication, the fitness level, the diet, the sleep. He's obsessed with it all. And very excited to see him in his second full season in the big leagues. We'll come back with lineups, first pitch in baseball coming up next here on Yes.
This spring is the perfect time to get away with a great deal on your favorite Hyundai model. All backed by America's best warranty, plus 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Add more joy to your journey at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get in and get away now before these deals are gone. Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $229 a month or get 0% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash. Hurry, offers end soon.
From friends coming over to moms coming over. So many ways to save. Life ready, wallet happy. That's 365 by Whole Foods Market.
Greetings happen.
Hi, cutie.
Yeah, that's not good happens. Huge things happen.
I got him to UC Davis.
Home happens. Be there with Ring. Learn more at ring.com.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Now, get 1.9% APR for 72 months on Ford F-150, only at your local Ford store.
Put it on the rest. Put it on the rest. Put it on the rest. Never read a line of poetry, I'm not a poet, but I sit up in the back of my buttons cause I'm fresh. Never read a book on how to rip it, I just saw it, I don't need your explanation cause I'm better than the rest. Better than the rest. Better than the rest. Let me take you for a ride. I can make you feel alive.
My dad, he's a double amputee, and he's one of my favorite people in the world. To me, a hero is someone who fights for our country and freedom. My dad is a hero. Onshore troops built this house, and it's basically made for him. My dad can get through the wide doorways. When he is making our lunch, he can reach anything we need. He'll help me build tiny projects. Life is good here. Without Homes for Our Troops, we'd be living in a home that didn't have all these features that helped him.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives.
If they get a new house like this one, it'll help them do normal life. My dad's not just a hero, he's my hero.
Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Yankees spring training on Yes is brought to you in part by Hyundai. Get away with great deals on every new Hyundai only at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event today. Visit buyhyundai.com today. By the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Help America's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. By FanDuel. Make every moment more. And by Acura. Precision crafted performance. The Yankees getting ready to go now after a slight rain delay. 1:25 estimated first pitch time. And you know what? It's almost 1:25. So let's take a look at today's starting lineup for the Phillies, brought to you by your local tri-state Volkswagen dealer. Brandon Marsh leading off. You see the productive 2023 season he had. Johan Rojas, followed by Cody Clemens, Alec Baum, Garrett Stubbs, Derek Hall, Scott Kingery, David Dahl, and Cal Stevenson round out the Phillies starting lineup. And for the Yankees, in a moment, as Juan Soto prepares to play, it'll be Carlos Rodon who will take the mound. How about Joe Torre out there in uniform exchanging the lineup cards?
Just a terrific sight to see Joe in uniform in the Yankee dugout again. We had Aaron Boone on during our last broadcast on Saturday, and he said that he was going to maybe find a way for Joe to make a pitching change, Ryan. Did the lineup card today, and he gets a nice ovation.
It's just so awesome seeing him in uniform. It really is. And, of course, Joe was the manager when the Yes Network started. How about, Jack, 22 years ago tomorrow?
Pretty amazing to think back to those days. I was working for the New York Times at the time, but there was a level of excitement about the Yes Network and all that it could bring. I know we're going to talk about that throughout today's broadcast, but sure, Joe Torre was there. We could go down the roster of players who were part of the team then, Jeter, Mariano, etc. Just quite a legacy that Yes has built.
And a testament to it that we have so many people who were there behind the scenes then who are today as well. Hey, speaking of people who were there then, Bernie Williams hanging out. Willie Randolph, too, Yankee royalty in that dugout this afternoon.
I think it has to mean something for whether you're a young player or even if you're someone like Aaron Judge, who's more established. When you see a Torre, when you see a Bernie Williams or a Willie Randolph, it's a reminder of who the Yankees are, who they have been, what those men have helped the franchise accomplish, and what you are trying to accomplish in 2024 and beyond.
Yeah, there's something just special about the caliber of player and person that you have in the franchise's history, but also how often they come back and they give back and they're around and they stay attached to the organization. And that is rare, and it's something the Yankees celebrate.
They absolutely should celebrate it as they do. Their history is like the history of no other team in baseball. All that they have accomplished, all of the winning, all of the Hall of Famers. And as I said, these players right now who are in the dugout, they're trying their best to contribute to that and make themselves part of that. And by the way, I loved covering Bernie. I have to go off on a little personal tangent here, but Bernie was just a guy you watched blossom from who he was when he first got to the major leagues, and you had teammates describing him as someone who looked like he was just finding his way, and then who he became for the Yankees. Middle of the order switch hitter with power. And just so important to those successful teams.
Yeah, and unbelievably clutch. It's so interesting if you ask Yankees fans about who they'd want up in a spot from those teams. There's obviously a lot of great options. but I wouldn't be surprised if he was #1 on the list for who you'd want at the plate in a huge spot. You think about all of his moments throughout those postseasons. Just incredible.
And Jeter gets a lot of credit, Ryan, for handling New York and navigating his way through New York. Bernie did that too. Bernie did it in a slightly different fashion. Jeter was more available, but has even talked post-career about how he was potentially or intentionally vanilla. Bernie has told me on occasion, I just tried to stay out of the way. I didn't want to talk. I wanted to make myself go through those New York waters without any turbulence. And now you've got Bernie Williams, Yankee center fielder, giving some advice to Aaron Judge. And Ryan, that speaks to exactly what we were just talking about.
Yeah, there's something cool about seeing that, right? Bernie Williams working with Aaron Judge in center field. And we know there's tidbits of knowledge and experience that you can only be aware of after having gone through it the way somebody like Bernie has.
I haven't played center field since high school, so I do not want to even... I'm going to guess.
Okay.
Definitely, you could see by what Bernie was showing him. It was something about the placement of your glove and navigating, perhaps, whether it's the sun at Steinbrenner Field or the sun elsewhere. But you could see Judge locked in on the little tidbit of advice that Bernie was passing on there.
So Rodon about ready to trot out there and get this game underway. A slightly delayed first pitch after there was rain in the area and the tarp on the field. Around 1 o'clock, they finally got it off, got the field ready to go, and we are about ready as well.
Going to gloat a little bit here on Yes's behalf, Ryan.
Yeah.
You talked about the history and the legacy. One thing we've been doing this spring training is when the pitcher warms up at the start of the game, we've got a shot from right behind, and I'm absolutely infatuated with it because you get a chance to see the ball.
Yeah, here you
and
go.
It's Hugh Boyle, our cameraman, who is working down there right now in Tampa, and I love this shot. I love anything that brings us closer to the action, and I'm got to believe viewers feel the same way.
One of my first assignments ever, I believe, was with Hugh back in the day. And you see Hugh, bringing you that outstanding view of the field as the Yankees trot out to their positions, and Rodon walks out to the mound right into your living room.
30-year-old lefty. It's year 2 for him, and he has said it's got to be a much better year.
See the numbers from last season for Rodon. Let's check out the Hyundai Pitchers Scouting Report.
For Rodon, Ryan, it's about pumping up the velo, pump up the velocity. His last outing, fastball averaged about 95. He maxed out at over 97. That was 2 miles better than his previous start. He needs to live there, creating options. We know the fastball and the slider are his best pitches, but what are your other options when you need another pitch? The cutter is a possibility. The changeup and the curveball. I envision he's going to throw a lot of cutters today. He told Meredith that after his last start. And then filling some of the void. Garrett Cole, the reigning Cy Young Award winner and the Yankee ace, will not start the season with the Yankees. We don't know his timetable yet. We don't know when he is returning. It's incumbent upon the other Yankee starters to fill some of that void. And Carlos Rodon, if he can be the pitcher he was in the 2 years before he became a Yankee, he can help fill some of that void.
So Rodon taking his warm-up tosses. Let's take a look at the defense behind him. The Yankees with Alex Verdugo in left. The Gold Glove winner Trent Grisham in center. Juan Soto in right. On the left side of the infield, it'll be Kevin Smith fighting for a roster spot alongside the starting shortstop Anthony Volpe. Gleyber Torres at second. Oswaldo Cabrera gets the reps at first today, and Austin Wells is behind the plate. So a little later than projected, but at about 1:32, here we go. Ready for baseball finally as Juan Soto checks his defensive positioning. And Brandon Marsh digs in. The first pitch from Rodon is just a tad low, 1-0.
Second straight start, Ryan, that Wells will be catching Rodon, so be interesting to see if this is a tandem that the Yankees use during the season.
The 1-0. Yeah, one of the other interesting parts about that dynamic, Jack, is, sometimes even if you have catchers who are going to split playing time, what's going to determine it may just be the comfort of the pitchers, right? But when one hits righty and one hits lefty, that adds a completely different factor into the equation on who you might want to play behind the plate on a given day.
It sure does. When we've talked about that starting catcher position, we talk about Trevino and Wells. Well, the Astros announced that Framber Valdez will be their opening day starter, so the presumption would be that Trevino will be behind the plate for the Yankees on opening day.
With Valdez being a left-handed pitcher. 2-2 here on Marsh. Rodon coming off a strong start. Last time out, went 4 innings, allowed just 1 hit, 1 run. The 2-2. Got him with a slider, paint to the outside corner. 1 away.
Yeah, this is who Carlos Rodon can be when he's at his best. Nice job of framing that pitch by Wells also. That pitch was right on the outside corner. Wells might have tucked it back a little bit, but perfect location by Rodon to get the first out.
There's a strike. To Rojas, 0-1. Rojas drives that in the air. Verdugo fakes it as Grisham makes the catch in left center for the second out. And a little laugh shared from Grisham and Verdugo.
Grisham, the owner of 2 Gold Gloves. I think we're going to see a lot of him in center field this year, Ryan. One more look at it, as you talked about.
It's a pretty good fake.
It was a good fake by Verdugo. Good imposter, impersonating the guy who caught the ball while Grisham was catching it.
Oh, and 2. Rodon working quickly here. Looks sharp early. See the numbers this spring for Cody Clemens, who has played really well in his 12 games.
So this is a good test for Rodon. You're ahead 0-2 against the lefty hitter. What's your best put away pitch right here? Are you going outside slider again like you did against Marsh? It was. That's where it was supposed to be. You saw Wells setting up outside. The pitch ended up inside, and Clemens spoils it, but you want to get in the dugout as quickly as possible, and this would be a really quick inning for Rodon if he can dispatch Clemens here.
The 0-2 elevates the fastball, changes the eye level, 1-2. Tipped into the glove, or did it hit the ground? It bounced. So the son of Roger stays alive. Still 1-2. Of course, we know all of Roger's sons or children's names start with K. 1-2. Oh, right into the crowd, Mike.
Clemens hanging in there. Also, Rodon with good velocity so far in this first inning. We've seen a lot of 95s.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. 95 again there, Jack. A 1-2-3 first with 2 strikeouts for